This is actually a gift that's going to be a surprise to someone that's agreed to do a swap. So I do want to sort of give you a quick rundown on how things were done. This is using the number 8 tag that Tim Holtz used for his Christmas project. I started off first of all by using just a plain tag, which looks like this. And I took 2 shades of Glimmer Mist. I started out with Sky Blue, or Blue Skies, and Turquoise Blue. Sprayed the tag, let them dry, almost to the point where it was completely dry. And then I ended up taking the Cuttlebug embossing mat, which I don't think you can see this. This is the snowflake one. I understand this is very hard to come by. I've actually had it for a while and hadn't even used it, so this is one of the first times I've used it. So I ended up taking that background and made that my background. You can't really see it here. I'm going to try to bring it up a little bit, but you can see there's glimmer of areas of light and dark with the embossing. I don't know if you can see that. I'm hoping that's picking it up. And then what I do next step on that is I let it dry the rest of the way. It really does work better if you do sort of try to spray this and then let it partially dry and then go to your next step. And the next step is basically what I did is just take my Tim Holtz Distress ink pads. I use basically broken china and put it on one of the embossing tools, or not embossing tools, but the felt tool. And came across just giving it a nice rounded motion to the edges of it. Just started out first of all by just trying to get some extra color along the edges of the tag. Then I thought, you know, there's these areas of embossing. I'm going to go over gently and end up going in a nice circular light motion. Went over the top of every one of the snowflakes and then ended up bringing up some of that additional color. The other thing that I like to also help bring the tones of the different light and dark areas on the tag. It does not take away from the glistening glimmer that you do have. So I'm just sort of going to show you that very briefly. And that's the step that I get with that. When I get that far, like I said, this tag is still a little bit on the damp side. So I set it to the side and then I decide to work with the next part. This is actually a very old stamp. I've had these stamps for a long, long time. Used to be a very vivid stamper and sort of pulled back away from it, went to my scrapbooking, and now I'm back doing combination. This is, in case anybody wants to know, this is a Northwoods rubber stamp, and it's probably no longer available. It was a Christmas promotion in 2001. So like I said, I've had it for a long time. I ended up taking, I love this cardstock that I get. It's actually from I believe, Hollows. And if anybody knows anything about Hollows, Hollows is a terrific paper product store near Cleveland. I've not been there in probably 4 or 5 years, but they get these little packages in and they're pre-cut 4x6. It's a little bit heavier than standard cardstock, so that's why I like it, especially when I'm going to be doing something that's going to be heavy and I'm going to be doing a lot of different techniques to it. I start out, first of all, reason why I stamp 2 is this is my primary cutout. This one, excuse me, is going to be for my cutout extra pieces, which would be the gloves, the mitts, and the scarf. And that's why I have a second one. I take, first of all, just to let you know this works very nicely, is if you do find metallic pencils and you want to do your glimmer mist, but you want some color to be underneath the glimmer mist, certain areas on these moons, I took the metallic pencil and just did some highlighting on some of the moon areas, and I don't even know if this brings it up and shows it real well, but you can see it sort of through here and through here, so you get these swirls, and that sort of brings that coloring up. And the reason I did that was I did want to have some additional coloring in it, and then it also gives it a little extra flair. So I'm not going to color all of them in because some of these do get cut away. The areas that I do want to show additionally before I do the glimmer missing, I will go ahead and do it some more coloring, like on these swirls. I do want that because that color will show through the glimmer mist. These are good Faber-Castell polychromas. I don't even know if you can buy them anymore. I've had them for a long time. Used to buy them from a company, UTech, I believe is how it's pronounced. I don't even know if they're on the webs or anything. It's UTRECTH. It's a good high quality art products that they do sell. So once I got to that point where I knew I had all my highlights that I definitely wanted to cut out, I make a mask. And the reason I do that is I'm going to go back and glimmer mist. I take Post-it notes, whatever I can, stamp the stamp out again, cut it out very closely. You can see I've used this a couple times. It's probably not going to stamp real well. You can go ahead and take the repositional glue stick and put that on there and then get it to pull up easily. I end up taking that and putting it over my card that I have already that I'm going to be glimmer misting. I took this particular card, like I said, now you can see I've got it over that. And then I ended up taking, which I'm not going to do that step right now, I used the Frost Glimmer Mist. So it gives you a little bit lighter blue, but it gives you some of the silver look of snow, and that gives you your background colors, as you can see. Where the swirls are, it gives you the coloring into the swirls and gives you some more background. And then at this point in time, I let this dry real well, cut it out to whatever degree I want. Once I have everything in that I know I need to color in, the next step that I ended up doing on the card was I ended up taking a popsicle stick. I ended up cutting mine down with an X-Acto knife, making it a little bit of a better stir. And then I took the Snow Tech product from Deco Arts and ended up putting this on several different areas on the snowman, trying to be cautious of the fact that I am aware that snowballs are different sizes and shapes, so I try to get all these areas filled in, as you can see for the face. I also tried to leave the little indentation here from the different levels. I mounted it up a little higher in the middle, curved it down along the edges, so you do have that textured. Made sure I got the arms and things like that. So then this gets set to side. While I was having that really dry real well, I ended up wanting to make